Good afternoon, my name is Aaron Jones. This is assignment 6.2 and I'll just run down the list and show all the cool stuff I've made. Alright, so number one is the use of Boolean variable to prevent interaction until unlocking event occurs. So actually I'm going to show this one over here. So I'm going to pull up my blueprints first. So essentially the way this is working is this is a trigger sphere, obviously. If you walk into it just by itself, it does nothing. You have to have the key. When you have the key and you go in, then it does something. So let's take a look at the blueprints. Get that one, and that one. Alright, so first is the key. So the key, this is the sphere overlap on component. I found that works better than trying to do just the regular actor overlap when you're trying to pick something up. So here is check for the player, checking to make sure it's, or checking if it's the player setting the path to show visible, which is over here is my invisible path, and then play the sound and destroy the key. Okay. So if we go, that's the key. Okay, then we have the trigger. Okay, so the trigger, when you overlap, it checks to see, or it checks, basically it just, all the trigger does is do the thing. Okay, and then the door, so the key is where we actually control whether the door is unlocked. This means that the door is unlocked. The path is visible. And then the path, here's where we define how the path is going to start. This is going to start invisible. And then the show path, and here's my Boolean variable, is visible. So the condition of is visible is, which is right here, is visible, is true. And then it's going to do once this sound, okay, to tell the person that the path is opened. Okay, so there's my Boolean variable. Let's see if this can qualify for any of the others. The do once. Okay, so there's my use of do once. I use do once all over the place. And then that is it. Okay, so that's it for this one. So I'll go ahead and close this and then just show that it doesn't work. Okay, so I'm here, I step into the trigger and nothing happens. So if I go to get the key, however, which is all the way over here, and normally you won't be able to just walk in and grab this, but I took the collider off the force fields in order to be able to show that it works. Okay, so I'm gonna cut the video here, and because it's a long walk. Alright, here we are at the back of the crystal after running across the map with the key in order to make this trigger activate. So we're going to jump in here and woo! Oh my goodness, there's a path. Alright, so that's what the trigger, or the key does for the blueprints that I just showed. Excuse me. It allows you to get up here. So this fiery axe thing doesn't do anything yet, but it will. Alright, so next on the list is the gate node. So I tried to make it so that this sequence had to run before the player could exit the starting area, and this biome exit trigger was supposed to prevent the player from moving beyond this starting area until they had completed the this sequence. Well, long story short, I couldn't get it to work. Despite spending countless hours trying to get it to work, I wasn't able to. So I have in my trigger, this is the logic. This is the logic that I was trying to get to be able to set this variable MPC intro done, but I couldn't get it to work. So where I actually had the gate, if it worked, was in the biome exit trigger. So the thought was once you complete the that variable, that home whatever, the gate would enter, they'd be able to exit, and it was closed on start. But again, after about 4 days and countless hours trying to figure this out, I couldn't. So red mark. Next is going to be activating lights. So let's go back to, actually let's go over here. Alright, so this is a sequence that the sequence will end basically at the end of the boss fight. So you fight this guy, woo, you win, and then the cutscene will commence. So I'm just going to start play from here so you can see it happen, and then I'll show the blueprints and the sequence. Alright, so you roll up and there you see this guy, there's nothing, there's just him, he's just standing there, nothing else. Alright, so you step in, okay, yay, we won, yay, he's dead. Okay, so now his energy is all being absorbed into the lantern and the intensity of the light increases. So basically what happened was that the lantern was hidden along with the point light that's attached to the lantern. Okay, so then the cutscene starts and you see the light intensity growing as the boss shrinks. And then the cutscene, when the cutscene ends, then I take the visibility, make the lantern and the point light visible so that it has the appearance of not being there before you fight the boss, and then the sequence happens, and then the boss is gone because he's dead, and then the lantern appears with the glowing light. So all that happens in the cutscene, or excuse me, the sequence, and the blueprints. And then the next part is, this is obviously a key, so we're going to go pick it up, and then that has activated that door over here, and then also destroy the actor and the point light so that it doesn't continue to be there. Alright, so just real quick before I get into the blueprints and the sequence, see that this activates the door and lets you through. So then this is where you go pick up that the path, invisible path key. Alright, so the blueprints for this are going to be, let's see, I think one of the sequence triggers, yeah, okay. So it's all, this cutscene is all built into my main sequence trigger blueprint. Alright, so just here we're creating the level sequencer and setting it as a variable. Okay, then first it's oh sorry, let's start up here on begin overlap. So before we get to, yes, it's creating the variable, but and it's doing all this stuff to re-enable inputs, but before that, or well, not before that, before the player has to have their inputs re-enabled, the overlap happens with the trigger, and then it's checking for the player pawn. It's making sure that the sequence player is valid. I ran across this weird loop where it was like, for some reason, it was disabling my player inputs before it did anything, so I could never get to the sequence. Anyways, ChatGPT said I needed this to make sure that it didn't disable the inputs before, because the sequence player might not be valid. Anyways, this just creates one just in case it hasn't. It doesn't have one at the time. And then it's going to do once, and then I added the lantern, make the lantern visible in here because it was not happening at the right time. So I did have this actually attached down here in this area, which I'm not using as part of my sequence. But like I said, it was not working, so I had to readjust. And then it's going to play the cutscene, enable actor collision, and then it's going to. This is part of this up here. I tried to set the NPC intro so that I could get the gate to work, but again, I couldn't figure out how to get it to work, so it isn't working. Okay, that's it for the activating lights. So what I have is the cut. Let's see, where is the? Oh, I forgot to pull up the actual key blueprint. So this is the actual lantern. So when play begins, it hides the lantern and it hides the point light. So this basically makes sure that the lantern isn't showing before the cutscene starts. So this is checking for obviously the player, and then it's setting the door to unlock. So that's the door behind where the boss was. Okay, and then I have my door variable over here. That's going to play the sound when I pick up the key. So it's unlock the door, and then it plays the pickup sound when I touch it, and then it destroys the key. And that also includes the point light. The point light is part of this whole thing. It's like it's a component. That's it. The point light is a component of that key, so it gets destroyed at the same time the key does. Alright, so, and then I have in the sequence, I have the growing intensity for the light, and then the light appears after the cutscene is complete. So I'll pull up Sequencer and just show that so you can see like what's happening. Right, so I showed before that the lantern, the key, and the light are not there before the cutscene starts. So that gives the illusion that it's spawned after the boss is defeated. So let's go to our cinematic. Oops. Yeah, that's right. No, that's not the right one. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Alright, so from from the beginning, so like he died, as soon as the cutscene starts, the lantern spawns, and the light so the actual point light in the cutscene is off, but the one that stays after the cutscene is still showing. But what I wanted to do is show, as the cutscene is going, the light intensity is increasing. So it kind of was going for the lantern is absorbing the boss's energy, and then all that's left is the lantern with the increased light intensity. So I did that with with my light component intensity increasing throughout the cutscene. And then at the end of the cutscene, obviously all is left is the key and the light. Okay, so that's activating particles and blueprint. Okay, so next is camera shake. So oh goodness, where am I? So right here is my rockfall event. So what I have that will happen in here, requirements for this assignment, will be activating physics and colliders. So right when uh, the sequence starts, physics will not be enabled, um, but when it's playing, it'll enable the physics and it'll do its thing. This is also going to show the camera shake requirement, as well as the array and for loops. So we'll have each one of these rocks is individually listed in the trigger. Alright, and so here's my falling rocks trigger. So then here's my falling rocks array, and here's all of the falling rocks, and there's my falling rocks camera, which actually zooms out. So there's the array for loops. So I'll just go ahead and play that cutscene so you can see it happen, and I'll show the blueprints in more details. So the rocks falling are completely random. So sometimes I can't get through here, and sometimes I can. So I'm just curious. I want to see if I can actually make it through. Nice. Looks like I'm gonna make it. All right. Alright, so I'll stop right there, go back. So that, let's see, that handles the camera shake, activating collider physics, the array and for loop. Let me actually pull up the blueprints. Alright, here's my rock trigger. Alright, so here is my starting for loops, grabbing my falling rocks array, and then this is the begin player overlap for the trigger, and then we're grabbing or making sure that it's the player. Then we're disabling inputs on contact. The rock fall event starts. There's a 1 second delay, and then, or excuse me, 15-second delay, and then rock slide ends, and then user inputs are re-enabled. Okay, so then down here is my rock slide event. It's going to grab the player controller, and then it's going to set set the player view. So this is taking them from the third person camera and moving them to the rock fall cinematic camera. And then 1 second delay, the camera starts shaking and chaos ensues. And then here's where we're getting the rocks, the actor location, so that we can play the sound, which I actually haven't added yet because I don't have anything to play there, but I will add it. And then we're restarting the loop, ending the loop, restarting the loop. I'm not really quite sure on the logic, how the logic works here. And then here's the end rock slide event. Yeah, ending the rock fall. All right. So the only, let's see, last thing, sequence node. Let me open up my. So for the sequence node, so I was using this to run like the destroy the Ripper Guardian, the boss when you beat him, and then after that to make the lantern visible. So I actually had that down here as a separate that would run after the Guardian died, but I couldn't get it to get the timing right. So it would spawn immediately because this just goes bam, 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 and that's not actually what I needed it to do. So I just have the two. This is to start the sequence, and not just for this. It actually starts all the sequences, and then the Ripper Guardian death happens immediately after. So the logic right here is probably flawed, but I'm learning. So. And it works. And the last thing on the list is, the animation sounds, camera cuts, and complex movements. So probably the most complex cutscene is the one at the beginning. So I'll pull, let's see, actually I'll just go ahead and play it first and then show the blueprints. Okay, so this is where you spawn initially, so I'm going to step into the trigger box. You guys are going to come up, you say, good morning, I'm heading out to start the fun analysis in Sector 1, and then he runs off. So that was super short, but I probably spent the most time on this cutscene because yeah. The hard part was getting the animations and the movement speed to line up with the footsteps and the spawning of the dialogue box and everything. Okay, so let's take a look at it. Come on, actually I can close you. Okay, let's go to our cinematic camera. And go back. Okay, so the cutscene starts and the camera pans over to the left in order to show the dialogue box while he's walking. And then you can't tell right now, but there are footsteps. So then he stops and he's making the grunting sound because I didn't have any actual voice. And then he turns and he speeds off, and the camera tries to catch up with him. Okay, so the movement and the matching footsteps and that stuff. That's kind of, I guess that covers all of this: animations, sound, camera cuts, complex movements. So then from the beginning, it looks like this. I don't know if you could hear the footsteps. Probably need to turn it up a little. Sorry for the grunting. Alright. So that is my sequencer animation. I think that is it. Alright, thank you for watching.